pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need to slow down, all right? We're live.
All right, well, roll call.
Dan Pillow. Lisa Stafford.
Here.
Dan Dalton.
Here.
Ann Pillow.
I don't see it.
Steve Dalton.
She's there, no.
Pam Jackson.
Here.
If I see you up there, I'm marking you down.
All right. Okay, so we're ready to move on. We'll have the clerk's report.
You received the minutes from February the 1st. This was the regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 1st.
Second.
Make a motion that we
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Dan Dalton. Any discussion? That's kind of why I have to go back and forth because it comes in so late. No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
yay.
Lisa Stafford.
Yay.
Dan Dalton.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Steve Dalton.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you received the special council meeting public hearing from February the 2nd.
Council, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Lisa Stafford. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Lisa Stafford.
Yay.
Dan Dalton.
Yay.
Ann Pillow. Steve Dalton.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you received pay ordinance 3A. This was for biweekly payroll that was paid on February the 12th. Total dispersed from the general fund was $9,794.61.
I'll make a motion.
There you go.
To approve 3A 2021.
And I'll second it.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Lisa Stafford. Are there any discussions?
I just have one question.
Sure.
I've noticed there's a lot of hours on the police department. I think some of it may have to do with the snow, I'm not sure. I don't know, I'm not sure. One officer had like 80 hours. Are we not sticking to the 32 hours, which would be 64 hours in a pay?
It might have been for that week. I haven't looked at that.
I think it was
particularly.
the new officer.
Week or the second week.
One of the new, Brown maybe?
Yeah, Charlie Brown.
It was due to me being out on snow and having other shifts covered.
Yeah, because I think there was some overtime and
Yeah,
80 hours.
Yeah. Wasn't on purpose.
You were plowing the streets, weren't you?
Well, it's all,
You had a radio and flashing lights. Couldn't you pull somebody over in the dump?
That's what I told him. I said, you know, you could just purchase a blue light to put on top of
wouldn't be the first time I've done that.
it. Is there any other discussion?
Be great for pit maneuvers.
No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow.
Yay.
Lisa Stafford.
Yay.
Dan Dalton.
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Steve Dalton.
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
The next one is 3B. Again, it's for biweekly payroll that was paid on February the 26th. Again, all dispersed from the general fund. $11,995.11.
I'll make a motion to accept 3B.
Second.
Motion by Lisa Stafford, second by Dan Dalton. Are there any discussions?
My same question was the,
Oh, it's the same, okay.
yeah, about the 64 hours, going over the 64 hours.
That was unintentional. No further discussion, we'll vote.
What's he?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Steve.
What about all the overtime? I'm noticing we racked up a pretty decent amount of overtime. My concern is the way our budget's set up. Part of the reason we were able to put those officers at $17 an hour was also making sure that there was minimum overtime expense. We've got some decent overtime kind of racking up there. Like we've got 16 and a half hours of overtime shift. Like an hour here, an hour there, but like at 16 hours, if we need to do that, isn't that like an emergency big enough to get council's attention?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, did what I could to cover shifts. Guess I'll have to look into another option. I don't know.
The other question I had is, how did we cover Don? So like, when Don was plowing the truck, was Don a maintenance worker? Was he still the police chief? How did that work out?
Right, and that's what I intended on bringing up when it comes to, the mayor's section of the council meeting. Because I did talk to the auditor about how to deal with that. Because we've never dealt with that before. I did that in order to cover shifts.
Just a point of order here. Are we still, do we have a motion on the floor?
Yeah, it's a motion to approve the pay ordinances, and they were asking about the overtime.
We're in discussion right now.
And we're in the discussion part of the ordinance, or the, yeah.
For,
3B. Are we on 3B?
I thought we had made a motion on.
No, we've
No,
only,
we made
we've
the
done the
motion on the
first one.
3B. We did the first one, 3A, now we're on 3B.
Okay.
So right now we're in discussion if you had any questions about 3B. And I do mean to go further into that, but that needs to be,
You should do it now while we're on this, so I can put it with this part of the minutes.
wouldn't it need to be a separate motion as a part of the minutes? Or, because the way Betsy said, we need to copy the minutes after that's brought up.
Well, but what I'm saying is it pertains to this pay ordinance,
Right.
so I will
So
put
can it be
under
part of
this-
that?
Yes, I can put it down that way.
Okay, so during this discussion, I guess I'll bring that up then. I did contact Betsy and told her about the situation I ran into that week and how we had the chief, cover for the maintenance being out due to family emergencies, and then we had some officers come in to cover those shifts. I asked her, about paying it out of maintenance. It can be paid out of maintenance. She said that what I needed to do is bring it to council, let them know, the situation, make sure that it's documented on the minutes, and the minutes would be copied for the pay ordinance. And she said that, it's like she said, obviously he makes a certain rate, you pay that rate, you pay it out of maintenance. And then it's on that different time card written in, so that way, and then you just put the minutes with it, and then that's not a problem. We don't have to go create an extra ordinance as long as we have the minutes. But I don't wanna make a motion while we're sitting in a motion with discussion.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you. We're in a motion within a motion.
Yeah, nobody's made another motion, so we need to get out of this motion.
But it pertains to this pay
We
ordinance.
table this motion and then go back and approve what you just said, and then come back and approve this, that way everything's on the right.
Unless you wanna make it part of this motion, like she can redo, is that what you're
Yeah,
asking?
what I'm saying is this, it's on this pay ordinance, so it wouldn't be a separate motion. It's on this pay ordinance to pay him his regular salary at 40 hours for maintenance, and that's what will be reflected as part of the discussion. So when you approve this ordinance, this pay ordinance, you're agreeing to pay him his chief's salary while he's doing the maintenance job.
For
That's
that.
the only thing I was concerned about. I don't wanna get written up for something that's wrong.
No, and she, like I said, she just needs the minutes to reflect that that's what,
That council's aware that he received his regular pay while he was filling in for the maintenance supervisor. He didn't receive the maintenance supervisor's pay.
and
Basically,
that you can pay it out.
and I can pay it out of maintenance.
Correct.
Okay.
That's
Do
all
we need
I
to
want.
amend that?
Do I need to amend my ordinance, Lisa?
Motion.
No, you don't
Motion,
need to amend it. I
motion.
mean, it's a
I
part of
don't
it.
think
This is
so,
a part of
because
the
of the way it reads
discussion.
on your pay ordinance.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, it says snow detail, so.
If the money's
So
coming
if
out
you,
that way, I'm
if you
fine with it.
okay this ordinance, then you're,
It's good.
It's-
Okay.
And everybody's satisfied.
and that had to be part of the discussion, so yeah,
Okay.
you're right, so that's the way it had to pan out.
So Steve, have anything else? Because I was gonna ask another question, different than that though.
Okay, Steve, did you have anything else about that? That should actually cover it, as long as the discussion and the pay ordinance reflects it.
Just a request that, again, there were emergency circumstances, like it was a perfect storm, literally. But if we could avoid, paying the police chief to plow the streets, because it's costing us more to have the chief do that versus the maintenance worker.
Yeah, about 42 cents an hour. But if I didn't do that, if I call Hamilton County out, would you like me to get a quote on what that would cost us?
No, what I'm saying is I get there were emergency situations, this was a unique thing, but if we can try, we're gonna try to avoid that going forward, that
Well,
was.
yeah, obviously, I didn't want that to happen to begin with. That's not something that I would ever want to happen.
My only question is, should this be reflective on this pay ordinance, the hours that Don worked as a maintenance person, even though we're paying him as chief? Did I miss that somewhere?
No, it's listed, Dan. It says filled in maintenance supervisor at 40 hours. It does say it on the sheet.
Yeah,
The money for Don is coming out of the maintenance
Yes,
pot.
but it's out of the general.
Right,
Yes,
but it comes off of maintenance,
maintenance
so
for
it's
what?
covered.
Yes.
Since nobody was here, it's covered minus 42 cents an hour. I think we can afford that.
But are we paying two people?
no. Are you meaning as far as?
Because RJ wouldn't be entitled to any kind of.
He's not
leave.
entitled to
No.
any compensation
So it
for
would
that
be a little
week.
bit more, just a little difference in.
Right.
If you look down there, he only got 53
Yeah,
hours.
that was another question. I want to make sure we're done with this stuff.
Right. So that way, that comes out of his.
Is Dan satisfied with the answer?
Dan, did you have anything else?
No, I'm just on the wrong page yet, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. So I guess we're all good. I can call for the vote.
Well, no, I've got one more
Or
question,
I'm sorry, go
which
ahead.
was a little bit different. That it's a, speaking of, it had condolence leave, are we talking bereavement leave? Margaret?
Yes.
Okay, 16 hours.
But I
Is it,
I
is
don't know who, I mean,
oh,
I've
He needs
asked
to
for,
give her either a sheet or something he was supposed to give her and he hasn't given that to her.
because there's only certain people that covers,
an
Yeah.
immediate family,
like
it's
brother,
for,
sister,
yeah,
grandparent.
brother, sister,
it's
mother,
pretty-
father.
Yeah, sister,
I
brother.
don't think in-laws are on that, are they?
I think so.
In-law
If
should
it's
be.
I think
it
it's
should
just
be, I think it's
mother-
your mother-in-law.
In-law,
Yeah.
yeah, in-law should.
I just wasn't, when I seen, I said condolence, I was assuming it was the same thing.
But I did email him and told him I did need it.
Okay.
And then the
So.
2 days, because I know there's like 3 if it meets the requirements,
Right.
if they need it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay, that's all, that's fine.
Yeah, he just needs to get, that paperwork to her.
Is this has already been paid though, right?
Yes.
See, that's where the problem arises.
that's where you should
Well,
have
it's already been
always
paid, he doesn't produce the thing, you can take it out in the next
I was gonna
check.
say, yeah, just
Yes.
take it back out of the check.
Well, you know, it kind of puts me in the middle, because, you know, I'm going by the time cards. They sign it, the mayor signs it, passes it to me, and I was under the impression that the paperwork was coming within that, like, framework of the 2 weeks.
It should have, correct.
So that's why. I mean, the only other thing we can do is, when it comes to that, is not pay them until I see the document.
Well, that would
and
make
then it
sense,
ends up,
yeah.
You know, added on.
And according to the policy and procedure manual, she should have everything in hand before, so you should not pay.
And I would've been fine with that.
Honestly, I
If she
don't
would've
put
said,
note-
if she would've
note to
said,
me.
To take
hey,
it off of you.
you don't have this paperwork at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he should have had it, but he put it on a thing. She could have said to me, well, I'm not paying that until he gives me that sheet. I'd have been fine with that.
And if he's out of town or something, or any employee for that matter, if they can make
Email
a
it,
copy,
take a
send it
picture,
out,
send
cover until they,
it
I
anywhere.
mean, I did go online, I went to Dennis George, I went
Anything
to
like
several
that,
of them to see if I could tie a name in with it, but, you know, as long as council supports my action, when there's a question and I don't pay it, that I'm not caught on the carpet for not giving them the pay.
No, that's
If
fine.
it's, if it's in the procedures manual that you have to bring that paperwork, nope, then I don't have a problem with you not paying somebody if they don't have paperwork.
Yeah,
or somehow to document it until they do get here.
yeah, I agree with that from the get-go.
Okay.
That was it, that's the only other question.
All right, is there any other discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
There you
Lisa
go.
Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Ann Pillow.
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Okay, now we have 3C. This is for monthly salaries. Total dispersed from the general fund was $7,350.
I'll make a motion to accept 3C.
Motion for approval, ordinance 2103C.
Second.
All right, motion by Ann Pillow, second by Pam Jackson. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton, Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Then you have 3D, and this is for accounts payable. And you will see that we did expend the money and took care of the purchase of the 2010 case backhoe. From the Kovic Fund, $9,792. From the general fund, $43,122.20. From the street construction fund, $4,174.46. From the Hamilton County Municipal Road Fund, $1,755.30. And from the water fund, $3,314.70 for a combined total of $62,158.66. And on that municipal road fund, part of that was, those two were for the First Street applications and that they're working on to repair that where the roads like moved. And then the other from the general fund was for Secatan, Southwestern doors. That was for the door here that's been installed. The the garage door service, that was for the two down at the firehouse. Just to help you with some of why it's such a big expenditure.
Make a motion, we accept 3D.
Second.
Motion by Steve Dalton, second by Dan Dalton. Any discussion?
Only question I have is who got a nail in the sidewall of the tire?
That's what was on the
The
slip.
sidewall, somebody doesn't like him.
The tire's actually sitting at the end of the hallway, the nail's still in the tire.
It can't be fixed.
Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Okay,
Ann Pillow, since she's right there fine.
Okay,
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
I think that's all I have.
That's all you have? All right, we'll move to the treasurer. Do you have a report?
do not have a treasurer's report at this time. I'm having difficulty balancing the bridge payments. And, Lisa, water board clerk, supplied me with about 50 pages that I need to go through and try to balance those. They don't hit the bank when they go through for making a payment, so it's really kind of messed up.
But for January, that should be the last time you have that because she has a new software program and it's a different service. We're no longer with bridge payments for that part
Correct.
of it.
Correct. But the payments at the end of December, some of them overlapped into January, and it's just not balancing.
I don't know exactly how Bridgeport works, but I guess because that's the online part of its service to where people pay online and then it doesn't all go in. It's kind of like if you're sitting down here taking payments, you don't deposit them the very day the payment's made. I'm
Well,
guessing that's what happens.
With Mayor's Court, it's different because that's
Yeah,
a
'cause-
separate account.
Right.
But with the water, it's going in the general operating account and it just seems to go
Cause
in
more
spurts.
confusion.
And that was one of the reasons I was pleased that we got away from them. Even though they give her a report, it still might show up 2 days later. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get over this hurdle with them and then the new system.
Now, with the new system, are people still able to get online like
Oh,
they've
yeah,
been
yeah,
doing
they-
already?
Yeah, it goes right through her software,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Thankfully, her daily receipts, the problem we were running into is her daily receipts were not matching the daily deposits into the checking account. So,
Because of the delay.
we would have to go back and figure out, okay, 3 of these payments actually belong to 4 days ago, kind of thing. So I'll get it fixed and, report on it next meeting.
All right, great, thank you.
how long have we had as the water board had the new software?
About a month, not even a month, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
More like 2 to 3 weeks.
It's, if you notice the new bill that you got a new bill that, has, it's like a blue printing on it. And the part that you return is at the bottom, it's not on the side. The, what do you call that, preparation or whatever it is, where you tear it off, the ticket
Yeah.
part.
It's different.
So she started with the February billing. So it's only been maybe 2 weeks. And it is set up online where they can make it through, they can go online and pay it, or they can call her and she can go online for them and do it for them, the service. Any other questions?
Yeah. Is that all you had, Dan?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Well, I have to wait a while because it takes a while to get an answer out of the computer. It's that lag. All right, well, we're still in that motion, right? Any other discussion? No discussions, we'll vote.
Did we do a
You can't
motion?
vote. She didn't have
She
a-
didn't do a report.
She didn't have a report. there's
Oh,
no motion.
yeah.
No.
It's
So you got
There
to
was-
talk so long
No,
that
the-
I thought we was in a motion
No, the
somewhere.
last motion we had was,
feels like it though.
It does.
was the pay ordinance.
Yeah, that's right, because she didn't have enough, we were just having a
Yeah.
discussion for treasury.
Right.
Okay. So we're done with the treasury.
We sleep in between.
All right.
We don't sleep on.
Oh, gosh, I know.
You probably walk down here, give the answer, walk back and still have the same time.
I know. All right, so we'll go to myself for a moment. Well, and then we'll go to Bob. On my list of, I had a few things. The one I sent you guys out a resume for Andrew Prophet. I would like to be able to hire him and replace the last guy in that position. If council would allow me to do that.
I make a motion, we allow the mayor to hire Andrew Crawford.
I'll second. Let Steve second.
Motion by Dan Pillow, second by Steve Dalton. Any questions? No questions, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Dave?
Ann Pillow. Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
The other thing I wanted to bring up too is, we didn't have it last year, and I really would like to not miss another year of the Great Addyston cleanup. Was you, okay, well, I'll drop it if you wanna.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because, I mean, well, that would take care of a lot of garbage that we're starting to see around some of these houses and things. If council wouldn't mind setting up a date or something, we can get back on track with our Great Addyston cleanup.
Traditionally, it was the third week in April,
Like
wasn't it?
April, yeah, so
Around Earth Day.
in next month around, yeah, it's usually around Earth Day, I didn't look at the
Can
calendar,
I
I
ask
figured.
Steve a
Hang on, I'll
question?
look and
Because I
see.
know,
Go ahead.
Steve, we talked about that in
17th.
finance. I thought sure, didn't we
Yeah.
not set aside
That's
money for
okay.
that?
Yes,
No, it's the third Saturday. I don't know.
yeah,
I thought, I
it's
wanted to
there. I checked
Awesome,
it
so
today.
council, that is entirely up to you, if you wanna set a date so we can make that an official thing, that'd be great.
April 22nd is Earth Day.
When's,
Is that
The
on a
24th?
Saturday?
No, the 22nd is on a Monday. Wait,
24th is a Saturday afterward.
yeah.
when's it Easter this year? I don't even know.
Yeah,
Easter's
see, that's why
early.
we gotta watch for Easter.
not on
Easter is early.
Yeah, I thought it was the second week,
So
is it?
the 22nd's on a Thursday, so we could, what, that Saturday after or before?
Easter is the first Sunday in April, the 4th.
Okay, so then,
Okay, yeah, it's not gonna affect it.
yeah, cause it's more toward give people enough time, more to the end of April,
24th.
it's better.
So go the 24th?
I think that sounds great. I'd
Yeah,
like you
April
guys.
24th would be
Do
good.
we wanna make a rain date, just in case, you know how that is?
And then the weekend after that one.
May 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone else on that computer land?
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
I didn't know if everyone else would, if you wanted to, council wants to make an actual motion, to make that a legit thing.
I make a motion that we have our Addyston cleanup day on April 24th, 2021.
And a rain day of May 1st.
Rain day would be May 1st, 2021.
Second.
Then we're good. Motion by Lisa, second by Dan Dalton. Is there any other discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
I think I'm gonna wait on some of the other stuff I got here. I'll come back around to myself later. We'll go to, Bob Kelly, did you have anything?
Yes, I have two ordinances. The first ordinance I have is to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures to the village of Addyston, Ohio, during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021.
So, the finance committee got together, and pretty much kind of finalized our budget, how we can shift things around within like the general fund, things like that. Pretty much the operational funds we have to get for this year. We are a little bit leaner because we're still kind of coming out of the COVID thing. The plan is we would reevaluate, probably about halfway through the year, see if like maybe our fund revenue is gonna pick up a little bit, but right now we're doing more with the conservative side, just because we weren't sure how much we're still gonna be affected by COVID.
Okay.
You need a
So
motion?
what's that?
Yeah, I was just waiting on the motion for the ordinance, if you wanna do,
You need to suspend the rules if you want.
yeah, if you want.
I move to suspend, you need a motion first or movement? Move to accept the motion, motion to accept the ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses.
Oh, Dan,
Just like
you
we
have to
did.
make a motion to suspend the rules.
I was gonna do that right after I did the motion.
No. Well, that's gotta be part of your motion.
Okay, sorry, let's try this again. I move we accept, I make a motion that we accept the ordinance as written for the current expenses and other expenditures of the village during the calendar year of December 31st, 2021. I move to suspend the rules, read the ordinance 3 times by title only, and declare it an emergency. After it is read 3 times, move to adopt the ordinance as read.
I'll second
Thank God.
Motion by Dan Dalton, second by
it.
Pam Jackson.
It was Rob's word.
Any discussion?
First time I've ever done it.
Well, there's a problem with that because you can't do both of them
In the same
in the
order.
same.
I was just told you were supposed.
No?
No, yeah.
No,
Confused.
the first motion has to be suspend the rules,
Read by
Yeah.
title only,
three
three
readings
times.
by
Don't
caption
read the
only.
last line.
I
Then
won't.
vote on that, then the ordinance is read 3 times, and then there's a motion to pass
Just
the
read the
ordinance.
All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna pretend that just didn't happen. Let's do a reboot. Do we have a motion? You ready?
I move to suspend the rules, read the ordinance 3 times by title only, and declare it an emergency.
Yay!
All right, now we got that emergency motion by Dan Dalton, second by, who seconded that, Lisa?
Pam, well, Pam had
Pam,
second.
yeah, okay,
That's
second
okay.
by Pam.
It's all good.
Are there any discussion?
Ooh, that was tough.
No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Sorry, that sounded
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Sorry,
First
Pam.
reading, an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the village of Addyston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021. Second reading, an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the village of Addyston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021. Third reading, an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the village of Addyston, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31st, 2021.
I move we adopt the ordinance as read.
Second.
Motion by Lisa, seconded by Dan Dalton. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow, Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson. This will be
Yay.
number 6.
Thank God.
And I have another ordinance authorizing the mayor, village clerk to enter into an agreement for the village of Addyston Police Department to participate in the divert program.
Does everybody, see, I don't know if all the council got that.
Yeah, this is
Yeah, I
about
got it.
Oh, Everybody's got that information on the divert program?
It was presented at the last meeting, he printed it off from everybody,
Okay,
and
Yep.
then, they got the ordinance.
well, I didn't know if everybody understood it, whatever, okay.
Do we have to do that as an emergency or just regular motion?
It's entirely up to council.
I don't
I
is
mean,
it up to
they're
we-
already starting the service as of today.
Well, okay,
So you
that's
better do
emergency.
it so you
What is
protect
it?
it.
I-
He's doing it.
Somebody's doing it.
Declare an emergency.
I'll second it.
Motion by Steve Dalton to suspend the rules,
That's my boy.
seconded by Pam Jackson. Any discussion on that?
You say it started today?
Yeah, it would go into effect as of today for them covering, we're part of that district, what is it, 2?
I think that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe you
That's
should
all.
explain more about the meeting.
Yeah, because they did come in, I believe all of you were sent an invitation to come in, and speak with the person that was part of the divert program. I can't think of his name right now either, but it was a really good, meeting, and what they do for the, victims of domestic violence is just phenomenal.
And I did attend, and I did ask, there is no charge to the village, so it really is a great program. It sounds like it, you know, if we need that for our residents.
Pretty much if we have a domestic, they call them out, and then they head toward that direction. So in other words, if someone was, say, needed help to get away from the person they were being threatened by, they do take care of them, putting them in a hotel. They will actually buy them a plane ticket. It's only one way to, you know, get out to a family member or something like that, so it actually is a really, really helpful program. Because sometimes, you know, we may not know, our police officers, well, what do we do with the victim? Or they get stuck somewhere that, you know,
Where to go?
or nowhere to go, exactly where this group gives them a place to go.
Cool.
We did have that emergency motion, right? Is there any other further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Antelo,
Hey,
Antelo, Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Steve Dalton, Pam Jackson.
Yay.
first reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and village clerk to enter into an agreement for the Village of Addyston Police Department to participate in a divert program. Second reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, village clerk to enter into an agreement for the Village of Addyston Police Department to participate in a divert program. Third reading, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, village clerk to enter into an agreement for the Village of Addyston Police Department to participate in a divert program.
I move we accept the ordinance as read.
Second.
Motion by Lisa, second by Dan Dalton, to accept as read. Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Ann Pillow, Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Steve Dalton, Pam Jackson.
Yay.
This will be number 7.
Then the only other issues that I would present is as far as the trailers across the street. The Board of Appeals did conduct the hearing, and the attorney for Glick subsequently signed a agreed order to remove the trailers from the property and the debris on the property. So that should be taking place any day. Council's aware of the police department hearing. That's all that I have.
Did we put a time limit on that, Bob?
It's 3 weeks. 3
From
weeks.
February
And if
10th.
you don't have a copy of that order, we'll
Thank you.
email it.
Well, what I did,
I sent it out to everybody.
Oh, okay, you
you
did
did?
send that out, thanks.
I'm
Mark.
looking at
That's
it.
right.
I sent it out to everyone this afternoon.
Yep.
Okay, that's why I missed it.
1, 2.
3 weeks.
That would be this Wednesday.
Yeah, so it should come up this week.
Yeah,
We'll see.
And
well, one problem that he,
Dick Weber's coming in Thursday.
Yeah.
The trailers aren't gone. They'll be cited.
okay.
That's all that I have.
The only thing that I guess I just wanted to mention on that one, it's not that he's not trying, he had some guy over here already to try to get them trailers out. And being that it's too muddy and slick right now, he can't get them out of here. I don't know if that might pose a problem, should we just cite him anyway or what? But I just thought to make everyone aware of that. All right, that's all you had, right, Bob?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and then go to committees. Danville, we'll start with you.
Thank you, Mayor. I have things I would like to discuss with council this evening. First off, I would ask and prefer that we keep our normal voting order.
Oh, okay.
If that's only a problem with clerk, I know she's trying to speed things up.
No, I was trying to make it easier for Ann. I thought we were sitting by each other.
Yeah, so I would prefer that if council has no objection. Okay, thank you. Well, let's start with the tough part, okay? A couple of weeks ago, I spoke with Betsy Amin when the alarming 2018 audit. I think you all have that or have seen that.
Yes.
Nobody saw that from Betsy Amin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Want to make sure we're on the same page and we're talking about the same thing.
Okay. I was just trying to make sure the volume's up as high as it'll go.
We're close to $70,000. We're close to $70,000
This is 4 years.
in the 18-19 audit.
No, that's for, actually all 4 years.
Let me. All 4 years?
Yeah, if you look at the thing, it's for 16, 17, 18, 19, so I just wanna make sure that's accurate.
Okay. Last year, we had fees of, and I'm not just talking about the audit from the state. We had several other audits that were involved. Some of them on the tune of 4,000 or more during the same period. I know we spent in excess of $50,000 or $40,000 last year. Now, and I preface this seat until it gets to the point that the state has to step in and take over and declare a fiscal emergency for the village. Now, she said, be sure these costs are going to continue to rise until we figure out a path to keep down our efficiencies. Okay? And I realize it's not all of our part is making this happen. And there again, no dispersion on anybody in the process. I'm just asking for help to make all this clear and extremely transparent. Our citizens are asking me what happened. It's a big news story. I get questions, what's going on? What's going on? I need to be able to give them an answer. We as a council need to be able to give them an answer. So my question is there anybody that can lead in this process? I know I can. This is way beyond my pay grade. So I continue to ask, do we need to hire a CPA or a like entity? We're a quarter of the way through the year already. And before we know it, we'll be into June. We really need to be able to sit down and at least talk about this. And we need to do it sooner than later. This is not a new request from me. That we as a council sit down and talk about the document that we have in hand and see where we're going to go, if we're going to go. But we need to have something to be able to tell the citizens who are asking questions. Now, I'll make it very, very plain. I'd like to get some feedback. If I don't get any feedback, I certainly kind of understand where everybody is.
Well, Dan, I'd like to add in, I was the one that requested to let us get the budget together for this fiscal year before we jumped into looking at the audit. We just approved that tonight. We got the budget in place, so I'm comfortable and kind of trying to jump in to look at the audit. I know the finance committee is supposed to do an audit every 3 months. We started into attempting to try to figure out what that might be and what that might look like. That's actually what the finance committee was going to report. We were actually going to go back in, now that we got the budget done, to try to go back and see if we can figure out the audits for last fiscal year from the finance committee report, and try to be able to get those together, to get those back
Are you I'm a little confused here because you started off with the audit. I thought you were asking maybe for a special meeting to go through the audit, or are we asking for some sort of retreat thing?
I'm asking for both, that it can be handled in the same time frame, the same 4 hours. And if you want to separate them, that's fine too.
I think you really want to separate them. That audit document is going to take some time to go through.
Great. That's great feedback.
So,
That kind of gets us going in the right direction. Should we set a date for that?
It's up to you guys, council, if you wanna set it.
Well, I'm all for it, but, I don't know how many people know I'm working 2 jobs now. So usually from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturday, I'm working my second job. But you can have me from 6 a.m. to 1:30 or 8:30 to midnight.
Or it can be a different day, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
on a Saturday.
Yeah.
It could be on a day that everybody can agree on.
With the audit, would it be, I'm not sure, I'm kind of trying to look at it and see if it's possible. Would it be helpful to make that audit document, would it be helpful maybe to try to go through and categorize it before we meet? So like, what are things that are issues for the water bill? What are things that are issues for payroll? What are things that are issues for entry? Like, what are things that are like, I know we got dinged on like just having proper certification. Is it worth it to maybe see if we can categorize it and then look at one chunk of that? Like, instead of trying to tackle the whole document, I mean, Dan, I know you were on that phone call where they went over it. They kind of went through and said, let's just hit the really big ones because it'll take us like days to go through the whole document.
Thanks, Steve. I'd say that we have our first couple hours. Maybe we do it on the Monday that we're off.
Okay.
We have 5 or 6 Mondays.
Mhm.
Why don't we do a couple of hours on one of our vacant Mondays to sit down and set a program for how we'll do it. We need to do that together. We need to do this together every step of the way. And I think it'd be really beneficial if we sit down, one mind and one voice, and start looking at the document and do exactly what you said. I agree with that, but I still think we should have at least a jump-off meeting.
Yeah, you can decide how you're gonna split that up at the first initial meeting.
Absolutely.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
Great. May I propose, let's see, what is this for March? How about the 22nd, and if we want to do some homework in the meantime, everybody can kind of look at the document if they want to, but on March 22nd, with this a Monday night,
Mhm.
this maybe start from 6 to 8 or our regular 7 o'clock time.
6 is fine with me.
works for me.
6 is good.
So everybody good with the Monday? Is that just a common consent? For special,
Works.
okay. So do March 22nd at 6 p.m. for a special meeting, council meeting to review audits. Correct?
Mayor, can we kind of, sometimes we tack random things on to all these special meetings? Is there a way to maybe try to minimize that or just say this is specifically into the audit?
That is the point for that, yes.
But sometimes we tack stuff on, like, oh, this first 1 o'clock council, I don't know, would it be worth it to maybe ask Betsy to kind of give us some direction on it? Maybe for doing something?
When she wrote the audit.
March 22nd, Monday, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Zoom meetings, and they seem to work well, as long as I'm not delayed 5 seconds. But,
Yeah, that's our wonderful internet down here. Dan, did you have anything else?
I do. Finally, I was trying to get this information out to you, but sometimes my IT capabilities are a little shaky. But I was able to get out to you the updated playground information. And like I had ordinances rolling in, I was trying to get stuff out. But I really need to have council give me some direction. The money is in the budget, and now it's just a matter of getting these things done. You've seen more than once that, and have agreed to almost everything that we have on our list to get done. As I said, we're moving along really fast. Time is just flying. By the time I order certain things, they may not get back until into the summer, maybe at the height of grass cutting season, and I certainly feel like I can get volunteers to help us, but I really need to get this stuff ordered and get it here so that before the grass starts coming real fast, that maintenance can help us get some of these things done, which we've talked about early on. So, council, if you look at that list, I don't want to hesitate. I want you to give me some direction on what to do. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start calling people.
Yeah, which list is referring to? Did you just found something out, or is this from last meeting?
No, I hope I sent you something out.
Nope,
I don't have anything.
That's what I'm looking for.
we didn't get nothing from you.
Okay.
I'll start looking at regular now.
We don't, yeah, 2 weeks is a long time for me to do this.
Did you send it through your village email account?
Yeah.
Because I don't really check my personal much at all, so if it didn't come
No,
through.
it's everything I send is to Addyston. I tell you what, as we go on through the meeting, if we'll table that particular thing, I'll make sure I get that sent to you within the next 5-10 minutes. And we'll table that and go on with that.
Okay.
On the good side, sorta, it's all good. Sorta says that it will start its infrastructure program sometimes in April, and there'll be more information to follow. Which means that when I had talked to them personally, they said that Main Street from Dining, Germany, might very well be possible, as a grant, get the road done. I think we'll also be able to get Dining. Mayor, I know you had talked to somebody about Dining. Let me break this so you can come in there.
Yeah, I mean, I worked with the engineers on it. We had that project going for the entirety of Main Street. I'm not sure who you're talking with, or as far as Dining, when you said I talked to somebody about Dining, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay, I thought you had talked to the engineering firm about.
I mean, I talked to about maybe shutting Dining down and putting like everybody's, that's pretty much something to come from everybody really, about putting our main entry or whatever in front of church.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's good, that's good. I just didn't want to step on anything that you were doing to present to council. That may take some time, but sort of may be able to fix Dining from 50 down to Main Street, down Main Street to Germany Lane as a part of what the bus route uses. They've received a grant, and they were going to give me some more information concerning that grant prior to, it's going to open up somewhere around April.
Now, which grants, see, this is where I get confused between the grants. Are you, cause I work with the engineers. So they go for whatever grants are available, even if it's through Hamilton County or whatever, so, you know, when we're both contacting them at separate times, this causes like, is it a certain type of grant that maybe the engineers that you used to work with when you were a mayor, that when you did it as a mayor and you worked with engineers, is it the same people that you're talking to that's getting these grants done, or?
No, absolutely not. I would not do that.
It's something
because
different.
I know, yeah, this is totally different.
Okay.
I would not do that because I know you've been working with the engineers. I would bring my information back to you and council on a grant that's gonna be available, and I've already spoken to council about this on several occasions. This is an independent grant by SORTA. SORTA is the, transportation system here in Cincinnati.
Okay.
They've come into some, they've come into some money, and they will be doing infrastructure. It will be by a, request for proposals, and Lisa, this is where you and I will put our heads together so that, you know, there's no bumping heads. We would need an engineer to put that request for proposal together, so it would be done right, and we would have our best chance of getting that done.
Right.
This will be a lot, yes, there'll be a lot of other communities doing that. So I will get together with the mayor, and we'll talk about exactly what this is, and we'll be able to report back to council, in our next meeting.
Okay, yeah, that
How's that
sounds
sound?
great, that sounds great.
Everybody pretty good on that. Also, the mayor sent us out information concerning Aaron, our, administrative assistant. I don't know if anybody was handling that, looking at that, but I, for one, as most of you read, know that that is way overdue, and that we, as a council, need to do something about that, situation. So that she can move on if she needs to move on, or we can do what we need to do as a council to give her the raise that she's requesting. If nobody cares about that one way or the other, I'd like to put that in the form of a motion, that we give Aaron a raise, the raise that she's requesting. Mayor, do you have those figures in front of you?
I just remember it was 19 an hour is what she's asked for.
Okay, I make a motion that we give Aaron the raise to $19 an hour.
I'll second it.
Motion by Dan Pillow, seconded by Ann Pillow to give Aaron the $19 an hour. Any discussion?
I do have so here's my struggle with this. Not at all, but like when we do this, like for example, we hired RJ. RJ is making the exact same amount that Chip was making. When we replaced the chief. The chief is probably gonna come in at the same exact pay rate that the new chief at the old chief. The experience, we don't do any like performance-based, experience-based raises. We just change the overall salary. So let's say we make, and I also struggle because it's like the say Aaron, but the pay rate we're talking about is the secretary / something position that we're going to change to 19 an hour. But then that means, let's say Aaron does leave, we're going to hire somebody else to do Aaron's job, that position at 19 an hour.
May I say something really quick because that pertains to me? I would like to say something really quickly. Because when I had the job as the clerk, I was hired in at $12 an hour, and the clerk that presided before me was making $18 an hour. So no, that doesn't exactly happen. It doesn't have to happen that way. It's up to council if you have to hire somebody new.
Well,
Jane was making 18.
I've been on council that's
She was making the same as a lieutenant. You can go back, I have to go back and look at that because I think she was making the same as a lieutenant.
Anyway, my point was, I would rather have a base pay, a max pay for each position, and then we can do evaluations and do raises based on merit versus, I mean, that's just me. Instead of just saying, well, we're gonna change this position pay rate, like, you know, like, for example, I know I was talking with Officer McWhorter, we were talking about, okay, if he becomes chief and then we bring that new lieutenant, we put in special criteria to help keep Don at the village, which I don't prefer, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But then he was saying, well, we really don't need that when we put in the new lieutenant. So then we gotta go back and, well, okay, so we keep those perks, we take those perks back out. At least with the merit-based raise, it's tied to the person and the position, not just, we're just changing the pay for the perks for this position. I feel like it's a little bit easier for the village.
I have to say that our solicitor over the years has always cautioned us that that can be a slippery slope. And I take Bob his word on that, so.
You know, the one thing that I understand what Steve's saying, and if you do pay ranges for positions, it gives you the flexibility of bringing somebody in who may not have the experience as the person who left at a lower rate of pay. It always gives council the ability that if the mayor or somebody comes back and says, listen, this person's performing exceptionally and I'd like to give them a raise, that would always have to be approved by council.
Yeah, in other words, Bob, you're saying a box, a low and a high for a position.
Right, that's what we,
You know, they're not that great report. Yeah,
You are correct.
that's interesting.
And in this last budget we just passed, there was a 3% raise in there that we just passed tonight.
Correct, we built the budget, we built a 3% raise on there, on that position. No other pay rate with the raise.
Okay, that's well and good, but what does that 3% come to?
There was like 17, 31 maybe, 40 something, somewhere in that range.
Yes, okay, and the ladies had $1.81 in raises over 10 or 11 years.
Well, and she also, there's another 11 cents in there if you count in the longevity bonus that we put in there. So that amount also increases. So if we look at the whole piece, we know that she does qualify for longevity on top of, which works out, I mean, it's not bringing it back, but it's like 11 cents an hour, and that amount does go up every year.
It sounds like we're still quite a ways from the $19 that she's requesting.
Very true.
So it just seems that we managed to give raises to everybody around her, but none to Aaron.
Well, I mean, the water lady did get a $2.10
We went up for the
raise,
policeman,
and we
we
approved
went up
that.
for the water board.
Well, just to clarify, the policeman, it was only the part-time officer. The only reason we pushed that through was because we were told that it was an emergency, and that was the only way we were gonna be able to staff those positions.
And it worked.
I'm not saying it was a wrong statement, I'm just saying, there are a lot of other positions that have not gotten raises or cost of living increase raises.
They did.
Sure.
Well,
Maybe they were creative positions.
she has asked
It's a different
us
animal.
That's different.
to take action. She has another job hanging in the balance, apparently, another job offer. She has made it abundantly clear that she wants to stay here and that she will stay here at a lesser pay rate than the one that she is expected to make.
Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Nay.
Dan Dalton,
Nay.
Ann Pillow. I didn't hear her.
What'd you
I
say,
didn't-
Ann? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Steve, okay, I got it. Steve Dalton,
Yay, no,
Pam Jackson.
Nay.
4 nays, motion carried.
Thank you, council. I just wanted to get that on the record. Mayor, I think that's all that I have. I'm going to get that information back out to you guys.
Margaret,
Yes,
did you say motion carried?
well,
Yes.
it was carried, it was 4 nays, that's what
Like,
was adopted, the motion was adopted.
Oh,
It was 4
okay, I'm
nays.
sorry, I'm confused,
Yeah.
but that's all right.
Well.
When it says
that had
motion
the
carries,
majority-
that means it was,
Yes.
to me, that means
Yes,
yes.
Bob,
Mark,
yes,
I don't think that motion carried, because it was 2-4.
yeah,
It was
so,
2 in favor, 4 against.
okay, so because it wasn't the majority then?
No, it just didn't carry.
True.
Carry means pass.
So,
in other words,
excuse me,
motion not
just a
passed,
minute, let
yeah.
me finish with Bob. So Bob, when I put it in the minutes, that's the way I do the vote. So I just say that it was the 2 yeas and 4 nays. So the
And the motion failed.
motion failed, okay. All right, sorry about that. Okay, I got it in my notes.
Is that all you had, Dan?
Yes, Mayor Mear, and, as I said, I will get this stuff over to you. I have my IT guy with my show me how to stay in the meeting and send an email, so I'm getting good. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dan. Let's see, well, yeah, you're kind of in order. Lisa, we'll go to you.
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Thank you, Lisa. Dan?
We had an extremely short meeting with the police committee tonight, and it is the recommendation of the police committee that we adopt using Lexipol as a training source for our officers for the coming year in order to evaluate it in that regard, and that Addyston Personnel and Procedure Manual takes precedence in terms of stuff that is not directly police officer related, i.e. if there's a complaint, the method that we have in our policy and procedure manual for complaint resolution, that would go through there and not through Lexipol. Hours, attendance, things like that are constant for all Addison employees would apply to the police department.
Have we seen this final document that you're talking about?
No, it's not a final document, this
Well,
is
the
just,
sections. that you're
yeah,
talking
the
about.
Lexipol, I couldn't get anybody else to go through it. I went through it by
I'll go
title.
through it.
Did you go through it?
I can go, I've already have it, I can go through, I thought we were breaking this down when we were.
Well, we were,
Do something.
we were until everything came out to the fact that the Lexipol thing has to do with arrests, police procedures, has nothing to do with the village. But the stuff that does have something to do with the village, complaint resolution, attendance, things like that, will apply to the department. Am I not making myself clear? I'm getting puzzled looks here. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I get it. I mean, if we just need to adopt it so we can use it. Because we haven't even adopted the other one,
Right.
whether it be Addison or Lexington.
And the thing is that, with the police constantly being updated on what's being accepted through Ohio courts, et cetera, we're in a lot better position should we be, end up in a lawsuit situation.
So what he's talking about separate from our personnel policy
Yeah,
and
that's,
procedure
yeah,
manual.
this is a police procedure.
Right. This has to do with laws, what you do like accident scenes or things like that nature.
I understand that.
Okay,
I do. I just, when you threw it in there about our personnel policy and procedure,
Well,
I guess that's what I was asking for other things.
right, the stuff in our personnel and policy procedure would be like pay rates, things of that
Yeah,
nature.
and sick leave, vacation leave.
Right,
and
exactly.
call-in pay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do have something in effect right now, our police department should be operating if that's the case. We do have policy procedures.
Right, yeah, we do, but we need to move to the Lexapro thing as a, Lord, I'm not presenting this as plainly as I have it in my head. The Lexapro thing deals directly with police procedure
Right.
and police procedure only. The policy and procedure manual for the village employees would only work for the local stuff in that regard.
We're talking about that 500 or 600 page document, which a lot of it did not apply to us.
Well, it was taken out.
I like to ask Bob. Bob, I thought that a lot of that was not a good idea for the village of Addyston. And I'll go forward.
There's really two things with Lexapol. And one of the issues with Lexapol, and I think Don McWhorter made this clear, is that he doesn't have the ability to stay on top of some of these changing trends or new decisions, and to control the village and also do the intense administrative work that would be involved in updating the policies and procedures, which is understandable because it is complex. And if you look at a lot of the other departments, they normally have just one person who sits there and goes over this, confers with the Attorney General or whatever on new developments. As far as Lexapol's concerned, one of the big issues is going to be any type of training that you're going to give the officers. So if you give them a 625-page document, the expectation is that the officers will be familiar with that document and not just take it and put it on a shelf and say, yes, I know it's there. That's another issue. Now, if there's anything in Lexapol that conflicts with the Addyston Policy and Procedure Manual, we're going to have to know what that conflict is. So if you adopt the Lexapol, you have to excerpt anything that may conflict with the Policy and Procedure Manual. So that's all that I would say. And I sent over an article on Lexapol. It is advantageous for the protection of the police officer and community liability in terms of the policies and procedures based upon what I'm reading about it. So that's one favorable issue. The liability carrier for the village also wants us to enact it. So those are the two things that are the couple items that I would say in addressing Lexapol. With my overriding concern is that the officers become familiar with it. And that's just a training issue, because court's meeting every 2 weeks now. And I know Don's, from what I'm observing in court, Don is having meetings after court with the officers. And I think if Don devotes time in terms of going over a section here, section there, to familiarize them with them or ask them questions, recommend is getting the Lexipol. Send me the code for the Lexipol, and I'll read it between now and the next meeting, because I've gone through these police manuals before that have attempted to be implemented. Some of them do not even apply to the village, and
Stuff that doesn't apply, right?
I think sometimes you really have to
There we go.
recognize limitations of what you're dealing with. So
Bob?
that's all.
I just wanted to say one thing, you guys have had sign-ons for the past year to be able to read through this entirety thing. And that's it, that's all I have to say.
I wanna ask Don.
And I agree with you, Mayor. They sent me over the code,
Yeah.
but in terms of reading, critically reading 600 pages of documents, it's short of War and Peace, but it's going to take time.
Yeah.
Mayor, in meeting with the committee tonight, I got a little sidetracked trying to get that email out to everybody, which I was able to do. I don't know that the chairman mentioned that our thoughts were that we would sign up for a year. See what kind of conflicts, gives us a year to
Yes, it is what I said.
sort of digest it, and then at the end of that year, we could have a critical report from in-house as to how Lexipol worked for us.
And Bob, just to add on to that, Don's already pared that down. That whole Lexipo thing is a heck of a lot bigger than 600 pages. The thing is, it's got ongoing training, plus it's also got notification if a letter, or not a letter, the interpretation of a law has been changed by a higher court. So our guys are going to be up to date as best they can be, given the size of what they have to deal with as police officers. Now, I think Don,
That's the one thing that I mentioned in terms of, that's one of the issues that Don mentioned when he was promoting Lexipol, is the updates that he would receive in terms of policies and procedures and new changes in the law. He did mention that, and which I think is beneficial to an administrator of a police department.
I think I overheard Councilwoman Jackson saying about policies and procedures. That we spoke about that in our committee meeting, and talked in terms of maybe during that year, we could sort of integrate and or observe what our policies and procedures were and how Lexipol would affect them.
Okay, so if I understand everything right, Lexipol is pretty much just for the training of the officers. Our policies and procedures, the officers will still follow those, and our policies trump anything that Lexipol would have as a policy. But the two aren't intermixed. We have policies, they do things a certain way, like their hours and all, you know, how much training they have to have. Lexipol just provides that training, am I correct? Thank you. I make a
Yes.
motion that we adopt Lexipol
for,
for 1 year to see how it goes with our officers. If everything runs smoothly, then we can look at it then to adopt it for longer. But I make a motion that we adopt Lexipol for this 1 year so we can see how this is gonna go.
second,
Motion by Lisa Stafford to adopt the Lexipol second by Dan Dalton. Any further discussion?
Does it have to be in an ordinance?
Yes.
Yep. So they can make a motion to adopt it and then have Bob bring back the ordinance for us to pass.
Okay.
Again, I should know this, but there is a cost involved.
Last time we did it, it was like $1,700.
Is this
I think we've already paid it for this year.
is this the
Yeah.
cost here, Dawn?
Okay, thank you.
No, this is for something different.
Okay.
And we may have paid it, I
I
don't
think it's
have it
already
on top of my
paid.
head. But
I mean,
think-
they have access to it, so I'm assuming we've already
Well, I
paid
think
it.
the last time we did it was about this time. Last year.
I think it was paid. I can double check with her tomorrow. I can send her an email and see.
Oh, I can look it up in the
Okay.
system
But
tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure you paid
I
it,
mean-
because otherwise I wouldn't have access to it right now.
Yeah,
And it should be sending out daily training bulletins either today or tomorrow.
Any further discussion?
I think Audrey gave us that information at,
2 meetings ago.
yes.
That was when the other chief was here, and it was like 17 something, but I think we have paid it between the end of the year and the first of this year.
Would that be in the budget for this year?
Yeah, it
Is
was
that
on.
in the budget?
Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson. Nay. And I do support it.
Did you have anything else?
I think I've done enough.
Thank you. We'll move next to, Ann Pillow. Do you have anything from a committee standpoint?
The only thing, I need to set up a meeting this month for a, Zoom type meeting with the planning. Planning committee. So I just need to get with you, Lisa, to see how we go about doing that in our system.
Or are you talking, cause your committee, you can have a meeting with them anytime, that's the other 2 council members that's involved with your committee. Or are you talking about commission and
I'm
zoning?
talking about the community members who have been working with us in the playground project.
Well, that's part of your committee, so you and your, whenever you set it up with them, you could send the email out to the commission as well. I mean, that's up to you.
Will do.
Also, Miss Ann, did you get those 2 minutes? I didn't know. I just sent those to you and the commission because I didn't wanna bring that up. I figured that would be, since you're the liaison for them. I sent you the 2, copies of the minutes for the last meetings if you wanted to discuss that with council. Or forward that to them so they have a copy of those minutes as well.
I will, look it up and forward it to them. So that they have a copy of the record.
Okay.
The only other thing I have, going back to Aaron, if Aaron leaves, hopefully we'll have a meeting to set up the standards for what the replacement will be and how much they will be paid, that we don't just go out and say, oh, Aaron's gone, let's come in and give somebody a raise. Because I know that 3% raise has been promised for so many years. And to still be at 3% now, I just don't get it. In fact, everybody else who's in for that 10% raise is no longer with us. That's how long
Yeah, I have to agree with that, actually.
But since that's the way the council feels that she's not deserving of that, I say, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Miss Ann. Steve?
So we already covered the budget piece. The finance committee is gonna meet sometime, in the next 2 weeks to try to get together to kind of figure out, the committee's responsibility in terms of an audit or mini internal audit. We're gonna switch back to trying to figure out what that looks like and how that works. Once I have a date and a better idea of what that looks like, I'll ask Margret to post that to share that with everybody. While we're talking finances, Councilmember Pillow, you sent out your email talking money. Want to swing back to that real quick?
Yeah, thank you very much. Unfortunately, I don't have the media on the front, but it does give a breakdown of all those things that we had planned to expend the money for, and those things that we decided that if we had the money, we would do in the park. The numbers that you have in front of you, break all that down and do a little better job this time, and in the end.
Council, excuse me for just a moment, but keep going, please.
Okay.
I gotta go, I gotta go.
Okay, let's take a look.
Would you need to look at this?
Okay, you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow, I'm really getting good. So, this was a list of expenditures, to meet what was then the December 31st deadline of 2020. Mear got an extension till June to expend the money that we had from ODNR. That list, we made a list of things that we would spend to get rid of that money. Since that time, Clerk Dozier has showed us where that we need to be reimbursed by $8,000 that was to go in the ODNR, the park phase of that. So we ended up with a total of roughly $17,000. And I broke that down as to all the things that council had desired, and I'm sure things that council had desired, we had talked about on several occasions that we could do to move the park project forward. And all those things are a list of things that we have the money to do, that we talked about doing. And some reworking of the numbers. Some of the things came in a little higher than we thought. We had to add a bobcat rental because the backhoe was not in a position to move the
original.
Yes, yes, yes.
So basically, you're asking for approval to do numbers 1 through 10, which you're saying is going to cost, approximately, how much?
It's gonna cost, a total of, $10,645.
Okay, I was just, because it said remaining grant fund, I wasn't sure if that was what was left or what you were expending.
Yes, the remaining fund is what we have left.
Okay, how long, so if we approve this, how long to be able to, so let's say we approve it tonight, how long till we would get all the expenditures done, once you get gives and everything? Think about next month, is that realistic to get everything ordered?
No, some of this stuff will take at least 6 weeks.
To get in, but I mean, to actually get the food and all that stuff.
To get invoices for,
Yeah.
I would say within a month, we can get, the invoices for nearly all of this.
Gotta get purchase orders first.
Okay, so,
I just really,
so I would like to make a motion that council approves the expenditures of, items 1 through 10, to the grand total of $10,645. I would like to also say that we drain, so it's coming out of 2 different funds. I would like us to drain the remaining of the ODNR grant first before we take money out of the We Thrive fund. That way we can be done with the ODNR.
I'll second it.
Steve, let me go back, and I'm really sorry. You asked me if the remaining grant fund, was, $10,645. And that, the $808,600 is the additional things that council said that they would like to have done, which is, again, all of those items we spoke of.
So you're asking for the $8,600, correct? To spend initially.
I need all of them.
It's from back short.
Yeah, okay, we have $17,000, I thought that I had that, this is pretty clearly, 17, yes. And then we're gonna take that 17,600, or $6,355, those were the things that we said we wanted to take care of right away. So, we subtracted from that, got $10,645, was what was left, yes. And then, those other things, $8,600, that council had said, yes, we want to go ahead and get those things in, which would in the end leave us a total of $245 left in the fund. $2,045 left in the fund that we have not expended, that we
This
don't
whole
have
list comes
expended.
to $15,175.
So tonight, right now, to do the items above, you're
talking about
asking
the
for
11 ones?
$8,600.
It dropped, Steve said it dropped, number 11.
Yeah, but he did.
I'm asking for, I'm scrolling across there back and forth.
I'd offer something, but I'm stupid and I don't know anything,
We have
so.
$18,000 that we have, right? Let's get everybody on the same page, let's start there.
Work hard, but you don't wanna hear it, cause I'm a dumb dumb.
How much do we
In
have?
those funds,
It's more money.
Clerk has said, combining those funds, we have approximately, $17,000. That's both of those funds combined, We Thrive and ODNR. From that $17,000 or so, there were, $6,355. Those things the things that are listed as things we need to finish this phase of the park that council had mentioned, those things, everything except the water fountain. Okay, from that was a total of 2,000.
You follow what I'm saying?
What I've asked you for is $17,000.
Hold on, Dave, I think there's a miscommunication. You listed 11 items up at the top. All of those have dollar amounts. So expenditure, basically, we have to approve that you spend that amount of money on those items. That doesn't mean we don't approve tonight disappears.
Right.
So I added it up. That total list of items that you have listed up above is $15,175.
I know what I just
The
said.
new items 1 through 11. Okay, so I would like to amend my motion to the amount is $15,175, and that is to complete items numbers 1 through 11 on the list provided.
1 through
Sorry.
10.
1 through 10, Steve.
1 through 10, Steve.
I'll still second it.
All right, who motioned that?
Steve.
Steve, and she seconded.
And then Dan
That's
started
correct,
talking.
Steve, and that still will leave us with a remaining fund of about $2,045, which will
1825.
make that about $17,000.
1825 is the remainder.
Steve?
Where's that in? What fund is that in? Is that in the refi fund or is that in the park
That's the
fund?
two funds together, I guess.
I would say that we take the majority of it comes out of the ODNR fund and drain that first,
Yeah.
and then take the remaining balance out of the We Thrive fund.
Because that's what we got extension.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, so
Steve?
we have a motion by Steve, second by Pam.
And we get purchase.
Before you
Any
go.
further discussion?
and
Steve,
purchase
you
orders.
said 1 through 11. Did you mean 1 through 11 or 1 through 10?
1 through 10,
Thank you.
not including the water fountain.
Okay, does he need to amend the motion?
He just did.
You just
Okay.
did it.
Oh, he agreed I was right. He didn't say
It was Steve and
anything.
then me.
That's amending
Yeah, I got you both, and it's for $15,175.
Yeah.
With purchase orders to be issued, right?
it. Yes.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll have a vote.
Dan Pillow,
Yay.
Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
Somebody make a motion that he has to get purchase orders.
Didn't we just amend it to say that?
No, you told him you could spend the money, you didn't say anything about purchase orders.
So yes, the purchase orders, it's, yes. Sorry, I thought that was an assumed, like, you can't put money without a purchase order.
Absolutely. And with that, I'll be working very closely with the clerk to keep council abreast of exactly what we're spending as we go.
Mayor, that's all I got for tonight.
All right, thank you, Steve. Pam, did you have anything?
No, only thing was I need to set a laws and contracts meeting. So Dan, when are you available? And Ann, when are you available?
Most times during the day, you'll have to give me a couple of dates because I've got some medical things coming up next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do it till afternoon. Like
Okay, yeah,
12:30.
that'll generally work, but then I pick up the kids between 2:30 and 4. I have to go up there and get a parking spot, or I don't get the park. So, I mean, if we can get anything early morning, give me a date. Hold on, let me pull up my
I can't do early
calendar.
morning. It'd have to be at least at 12.
Okay, hang on just a
Ann,
second.
how about you?
I would like for it to be,
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I'd like for it to be a Zoom meeting.
Zoom meeting.
Well, that's,
I can have Steve help me set that up.
Or I can just set it up
Or
and just roll
Lisa,
it.
yeah.
I don't need
Well-
to be part of it. I mean, I
I'll have to get all the documents together and send them out to everybody with the Zoom.
What date did you have in mind, Pam?
It's kinda hard to Zoom without the documents. You wanna do,
Well, you can come in and scan them through that
Yeah,
thing and
that's
then
fine.
send it to your email.
yeah, they'll have to
That's
have
the
them.
easiest way to do it.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind coming and doing it. What day is better than another for you?
I'm open, just give me a date and I'll see if I've got anything on that day. In which case, I'm good up until 2:30. I have to be out of here by 2:30.
Monday, Tuesday, and any preference, Wednesday, or should I just one or two? I'll have to vote you for some things.
She said Tuesday.
How about you? Or Monday or Tuesday?
That'd be the 22nd or 23rd.
No, it'd be the 8th.
I'm sorry, can do what?
Either day.
Okay,
Tuesday the 9th is a good day for me.
say about 12:30?
That sounds good.
Dan?
I think that I must have missed what the subject.
Just about contracts, the village contracts,
That's good. What time?
I missed that part.
12:30.
12:30.
I'm good for Tuesday the 9th
Tuesday the 9th at 12:30.
at 12:30.
All right, that's all I have there.
All right, thank you, Pam. We'll go to the police chief, Don.
I'll try to make it quick.
Thank you.
Just a little information for January. We towed 10 cars. We recovered 2 more firearms from people that weren't supposed to have them.
Jeez.
We've also got, we also took in $8,000 in cash off of a potential drug dealer that we are hoping to get forfeiture on. So over the past few months, we've brought in almost $16,000 in cash we're trying to get forfeiture on. One thing has happened in the past month. Our reporting software that we were using from Oleg has changed to a company called Swift RMS. The Ohio Attorney General's office has contracted that out to say this software is less than user-friendly, is being very friendly. The sheriff's office is looking to get rid of it. I can't understand it, I can't even get it implemented. I've watched the videos on it 3 times, and I consider myself fairly computer savvy. Darnell has watched the videos at least 4 times. He's extremely computer savvy, and he still can't figure it out. That's why you have in front of you tonight a possible solution to this, which is Sundance Systems. The thing that drew me to these guys is all the extras that come with it. After meeting with the insurance company, there were things she wanted to have us implement, which were things like employee evaluations, qualifications, and a training file, and an employee file, and all of those, other than what Margret keeps upstairs in her office. This system also lets me keep track of vehicle maintenance, vehicle repairs, all of our towing. Also includes property room software, which is something we have to renew every year. That will be integrated into this system. It also will report every month to the state any accidents, domestic violences, uses of force, and also all of our incident reports. It's a cost of $850 per year. They have fixed everything that Pamela that we had a couple of years ago did wrong. They're a local company here in Ohio. They're based out of Valley View, Ohio. And this, if I remember right from what he told me, this was piloted through the city of Columbus PD. There are several agencies in the county using this already. They're paying substantially more because they want it on their MDCs. I want it on one workstation only inside of the PD. And that cost will be $850 a year.
Now, would that be $850 a year, because the way it looks on the contract, it's a one-time setup fee?
That includes the $850. If you look, it's $600 for the software, $250 for the setup fee and training.
Right, but once it's set up, we'd only be paying
It dropped down to most likely the 600 or.
Okay.
If I go up higher in users, then it may go up more. It's $50 a month for 12 months is what the cost of it is. Just have the $250 setup fee.
Okay.
And that's including the training, and it goes onto our computer. It would also, if a council member was to walk in and ask, how many calls are we averaging between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. on Wednesdays? I can go into the system, type in 2 to 5 p.m. on Wednesdays of the week, and it's gonna spit out an average number of calls that we would have at that time.
Don, does this thing still tie into, like, all the other stuff where we used to send our reports and keep track of it? Is it still like in with the county system and everything?
It's linked into leads, and it's linked into OLEAS and OIBers, so it does state reporting. Like when we put in somebody's information, it'll stay in there, and then also, if one of our frequent flyers gets picked up in, say, I think it's Deer Park is the one I was talking to that was using this. When they punch his social in, it's gonna give them all of their information, just like if they get one, and I get one of their frequent flyers here, I'm gonna know his history without even going into RCIC. I'm gonna see every time he was arrested, every report they took on this individual.
Are there any downsides to switching softwares?
Right now, there's no downside to switching to this because the current system, the Swift RMS, is, like I said, I can't get it to function. What we've been doing now has been going back and doing them old school through typing them in on the computer, and then I was sending them to the state. But at the end of February, the state will no longer take our numbers that way. We have to have a system that uploads to them.
And this will do that.
This will
The
cover.
program we're with now isn't gonna like upgrade anytime soon to make it less annoying.
This is they've been working on Swift RMS for 2 years to roll it out the way that it is, and the way they talked in the last meeting I was in, the last video meeting I was in, they have no plans on changing it now, even with the complaints that they're getting from everybody. This was the cheapest out of all systems I could find. There's another one here that is based in Cincinnati. It was done through the University of Cincinnati, which is called Peel 9. It was $9,000 a year. Yeah, that was my reaction
That one will
too.
laugh right away.
That was my reaction too.
That's another officer. So we've got the money for this in the budget.
Technical support, you've got everything you need. It's not like gonna be on down the program things later in life, right?
No, this is all on them. It's all, it's internet based. So if you have a problem, you call them, they log in and fix it, just like they do with the in-car camera systems that we're nursing along right now.
Is this a year by
You
year
said
contract?
Deer Park's using them? Anybody else?
Deer Park's using it, I believe, I didn't get the entire list from him when I got this. Deer Park's using it, I believe, Glendale is using it. The sheriff's office is looking at it. The problem the sheriff's office and the city have is, they usually charge a certain fee for more what they want, because they want it in all their cars and on all their MDCs. I'm not doing that, I'm just putting this on a terminal inside the station. They can come in here and do a report, they don't have to sit in their car and do a report. I'd rather have them doing it in here anyways.
Will the officers still be able to like, so like when they're in a cruiser, they're pulling up, they're using like the RCIC, right?
Yes.
This is different than that system.
Yes, RCIC and everything is where it has all the people's criminal information, arrest history, driving status, warrants, things like that. This right here will do the reports when we make arrest. It keeps a business file where if I can get the business owners in the village to cooperate, I can put their information in there and have night call numbers. If there's a break-in, there's an emergency to property, I can just go and type in a business name, it's gonna pop up and give that to me. Has the employee file. Even if we were to start doing anything civilly here, like through the police department, I don't know with the restraints, we can do civil processing through this. It keeps track of the warrants, the warnings. So if somebody says, I never received a warning, we can put their name in and go back and say, hey, you've been warned for this violation 6 times on this date, this date, this date, this date, this date. That's something I don't have at this time. What's that?
Is there a signed contract or user agreement that comes with this?
Yeah, there would be. I would have to get that and get it sent over to Bob to review, and to you all as council to review.
I'd like to have Bob review that before we make the switch, to be safe, we're not getting into something that's gonna
I can have him send me one tomorrow, and I'll have it in Bob's email tomorrow afternoon.
And then I need an ordinance. Do you know how long we have to have a contract? Do you
It's,
know?
I think it's gonna be a year at a time.
You wanna limit it to a year and have an evaluation, or? That'd
Well,
probably be the
I
best.
think first, like he said, I need to get the contract and get it sent over to Bob and let Bob review it.
Okay. You need a motion to do that?
I don't think so, really.
Okay, yeah. Let's rock and roll then.
And the last thing I have in front of you guys is from RCIC for a quote. Unfortunately, RCIC holds us hostage in this county. I have been fighting with them for 3 weeks to no avail, to the point that now they won't even call me back about this. The cars we're getting donated have docking stations in them for Panasonic Tough Books. Unfortunately, the Regional Crime Information Center sees fit that the fact that they used that same computer 2 years ago, it's not good enough for them now. So they insist that we have to buy $3,000 computers and $800 docking stations. I have an extra computer, but I do need a docking station put into the Tahoe. I am having to work daily without an NBC, which is limiting me, and is also driving the Hamilton County dispatchers on the west nuts, because everything I do has to be done over the radio. There's 2 options for the docking station. One has a 3-year warranty at $606.82. The other one has a 5-year warranty. That's at $757. I don't care either way. Council would like to go on that. But this docking station is something I need to get. And when we get the other 2 cars, I'm gonna need 2 additional docking stations for those cars as well. I'm gonna try to offset those.
Where are the docking stations we have in the other cruisers?
What's that?
How old are the docking stations we have in the other cruisers?
2 years.
And did we buy a warranty on those?
That I'm not sure. That was done under Chief LaCourse, and that was when the county, that was all in the cost, I guess about 2 years ago when we came to you guys and said we had to buy computers and docking stations. I don't remember what the cost was at that time.
Do you remember the name of the company?
Well, it went through
Codan?
RCIC.
What was it?
It went through RCIC.
Well, we can go back through the invoices and see if we can find it.
I'm just thinking that we're gonna probably, when we refresh, you're gonna have to refresh everything all at the same time.
Yeah.
So like if the warranty's gonna expire, I don't necessarily wanna get the 5-year warranty.
I'm in total agreement. I think a 3-year agreement will be, a 3-year warranty should be fine, because it seems like every 7 to 8 years, RCIC changes their mind on what they wanna do with computers. And
Don,
they change them.
were you thinking this coming out of the police community fund, or were you thinking this coming out of your budget?
If I have the money for the docking station and community policing fund, I'd prefer for it to come out of there, considering I'm trying to get the Sundance. If it's in there, I don't have a problem with it coming out of there. I need to get an actual amount as to how much I do have in there to work with, because I'm gonna have 2 more of these docking stations I'm gonna have to buy when we get the other 2
So if I can
cars.
find the time, I'd be glad to do that for you. I will. I know Darnell has asked, but right now it's been a
I
very busy
understand.
time for me, even though.
I just don't, I don't wanna overdraw the fund, is what I don't wanna
Oh,
do.
there ain't no way you can do that.
Okay. Yeah, so if this could come out of that fund, that'd be great, if council's okay with that. And then when, we finally get the other 2 cars, we'll address purchasing 2 more docking stations. I've got an appeal into Hamilton County right now to RCIC to let us purchase, instead of the cost of $4,000, when we get the other 2 cars for the computers, to let me purchase refurbished units, because I have found refurbished units for $150, which is the exact same computer. I just gotta take it to them and let them program it. I just gotta get them to answer my appeal.
I'd like to make a motion, to allow, Interim Chief McWhorter to get the 3-year warranty docking station for $606.82, for the Tahoe, and the funds to be coming from the Community Policing Initiative.
Before you guys vote on that, there is gonna be an install charge on that. I don't know how much. I'll have to call Mobilecom and see how much, but that can also come out of the Community Policing Initiative.
To cover the cost of the docking station
Yes, please.
I'll second it.
Cover that, whatever that amount is. Don, do you think you can do it for under $1,000?
What's that?
Do you think you can do it for under 1,000?
Yes.
Make the motion to not exceed $1,000.
And
So-
this is to do with the Sundance.
No, this is the docking station for the computer.
That's the
RCIC.
Yeah, RCIC.
Motion by Steve, second by Pam. Is there any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow? Dan Pillow? Am I going?
Oh, there he
There he
is.
is.
Steve's, I'm sorry, Lisa Stafford,
Yay.
Dan Dalton,
Yay.
Ann Pillow,
Yay.
Steve Dalton,
Yay.
Pam Jackson.
Yay.
The last thing I need to ask of you guys, no matter which direction we go for a police chief, that chief is going to have to take a 5-day course in London, Ohio. They have one scheduled for this year. I need to get, if that is the way we're gonna go with me, I need to get scheduled for this class before it fills up. When I checked it Friday, there were 32 spots, 24 had been taken. If I miss out on that, we have a problem.
When is it?
It's a mandatory chief's class that the
When?
governor requires everybody to take.
When and what's the cost?
It's no cost for the training, the only cost would be my housing in London for the week. And it's Monday through Friday.
Do you know when?
It's in September, I can't remember the date, I don't have it in front of me. One thing I forgot to print out.
Don, do you have a rough idea what that housing cost would be?
I just need to do, I just gotta figure out what hotels are up there and find the cheapest one that isn't gonna have bed bugs running around inside of my, or whoever goes up there's luggage.
And then like, does the village pay for like travel allowance and all that other stuff? I'm
There
sure
is,
that needs a-
there is an ordinance for reimbursement for mileage, and if we find out where he's going to be lodging, we can issue, I can take care of that and provide the, tax exempt and then some other things.
I'm not
Don
gonna worry,
will-
I won't
will
need
work
mileage
with
or
me.
anything, I'll take the police cruiser with me. I'll just take the Tahoe with me for the week. So there won't
But
be
there
any-
is something for reimbursement, there is an ordinance on the books
Can't be free at night though.
for certain
No.
types of things.
No, I don't go to training on probation, or, freely, come back on probation, I know guys have done that. But that's all I've got, sorry to hold y'all up.
I have a question for you.
Uh-huh,
While we're talking about the replacing the police chief, all the funds are there, to be able to institute a full-time police chief, if that's what council decides they wanna do. There was talk about making the position salary again. Council hasn't really met or really landed on anything with any of that. But the finance committee did leave, the funds there to be able to do that.
We can't really cover that tonight, I don't think.
That was really nice.
Have we ever, got the people, I should say, Lisa Walker and Aaron, lead certified?
I just got the notification that Lisa Walker needs to redo her, certification, or I need to remove her from Leeds, so she needs to do this fairly quickly, I just got it today from Leeds.
Oh,
So
okay.
she needs to get with me and get that done fairly quickly, otherwise I have to remove her from Leeds altogether.
All right, well, that sounds like, I know there's no cost involved in that, is
No,
there?
there's no cost, test is done here.
Just her
Yeah.
work hours, basically.
Let's hurry up and move that along.
The test can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, depends on how hard the questions are they give her, she has to do 35 questions, it's all online.
Yeah, I'd like to make the motion that we have Lisa Walker, so our Aaron's already done, good now, for now.
Yeah, she's not due until later this year, she has to retest.
Well, why don't you do both of them at the same, that when her
I
time
don't
is.
think you can.
I can't, I gotta
No,
wait
but
till.
what I'm saying, the motion can be
Oh,
that when Aaron's
sorry.
time is to be
I'll just do it,
recertified,
yeah.
it's You've
Yeah.
already given the permission for, you know what I'm saying?
Erin's always just recertified every 2 years like she's supposed to.
Okay, permission.
Made a motion to, Lisa Walker, and if we wanna keep Erin, put her in that mix too, it's not till September for her. To get her
Second.
certified.
Motion by Pam Jackson, second by Dan Dalton. Is there any discussion?
Can somebody repeat the motion?
I
To,
don't think they, hold on.
probably can't hear, it's to have Lisa Walker certified for the NCI,
RCI.
RCIT.
I can't say it. Computer. If not, she won't be able to access the system. They're gonna take her off of the lead certification. It's at no cost, it's just whatever she's being paid while she's on duty. It takes, he said, 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour to do.
Is that something she wants to do?
Yes,
Part of the job.
it's part of her job description on the new one we just passed, when she fills in for, Erin.
Okay.
You'd say that you.
Any further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow? Lisa Stafford?
Yay.
Dan Dalton?
Yay.
Ann Pillow?
Yay.
Steve Dalton?
Yay.
Pam Jackson?
Yay.
Move to adjourn.
And thanks, Don, for all your help during the snow.
I second.
Motion to adjourn by Dan Dalton, second by Lisa Stafford. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote.
Dan Pillow?
Yay.
Lisa Stafford?
Yay.
Dan Dalton?
Yay.
Ann Pillow?
Yay.
Steve Dalton?
Yay.
Pam Jackson?
Yay.